Hi there. Yes, I will try. I'll try. I know I'm the last one, and I'm not even on the agenda, so it's a bonus presentation. The reality is that I threw a curveball on Brand Innovators. I was presenting on Thursday, but I was pulled into a meeting in San Fran, so they were kind enough to allow me to present today. It's a cool thing because it's kind of like coming full cycle. We had Diana Frost, I think, presenting in the morning for the ones who endured the day here, like the whole day. And a lot of the stuff that I will present is actually part of our partnership with Kraft Heinz. So I work very close to Diana in a lot of that. So I'm Fernando Machado. I'm the CMO for NotCo. NotCo is a food tech startup that was born in Chile, is valued in $1.5 billion. And what we basically do is we use AI to create plant-based alternatives, plant-based food, basically. The whole company is predicated on the premise of why not. So our founder, Matthias, he's the co-founder and CEO of the company. He felt that the food industry was rather inefficient in terms of the environmental footprint, in terms of how long it takes to develop a product, how much you need to spend to develop a product, and decided to change all that. He started in the room of his sister in his house in Chile, which is kind of funny and show a little bit of the spirit of the company. We're always like very resourceful and always like pushing to make shit happen. This is what's on the website in terms of describing the company. We are a data company developing artificial intelligence to disrupt the food industry. I think it's a little bit boring, so I like to explain with my own words. Like we have an AI, and the name of the AI is Giuseppe. And we call it Giuseppe because back in mid 50s, there was like this Italian artist called Giuseppe Archimboldo, and he used to do portraits with vegetables and fruits. You probably have seen one of those at some point. So it's basically like creating art with plants, and that's why the AI is called Giuseppe. And what we do is, what we originally, and there is an asterisk on the originally, what we originally did was we would take an animal product, a product that's derived from animal ingredients. We would analyze the product like a chromatography study. We would do like physical properties of the product, all that stuff. We would put all that data into Giuseppe, and then Giuseppe would recommend 5 different recipes to match the animal target using plant-based ingredients. Our chefs in R&D, which is one of the main points of the presentation, it's never AI by itself. So our chefs in R&D would take the recipes, prepare the recipes, and give feedback to Giuseppe. Giuseppe would then spit another 5 recipes, and they would prepare and give feedback to Giuseppe, and then it converges to the target, right? I mean, over time. One of the cool things is that because of the way we approach things, the products, they tend to have an unexpected combination of plant-based ingredients, right? I mean, if you drink plant-based milk, most people drink almond milk or oat milk. Our product is a blend of plant-based ingredients because Giuseppe is agnostic to the ingredients. So we have cabbage, coconut, pineapple in the milk. The environmental footprint is infinite times better than what an animal-derived product would offer. I could pick any variable here, just pick water and CO2, and that's true to all products. This is our not chicken. By the way, all the products are called not, so it's not milk, not chicken, not burger, not mayo. Not chicken, one of the key ingredients of the product is strawberry. I doubt that if we brainstorm which ingredient we are going to put on a chicken, a plant-based chicken would pick strawberry, but Giuseppe indicated that, and it actually works. Again, environmental footprint, like much better than animal product. Of course, they have to taste great. By the way, plant-based, like one of the key barriers of plant-based products to this day is taste. I think we all had a bad experience trying some plant-based product in the past. I think most today they test really good actually, but we had a bad experience trying a plant-based product in the past and not being like, not matching, right, the experience that you have when you eat like an animal product. So we always try to be better than everything that's out there in terms of plant-based, or say, so like statistically significantly superior than other plant-based products in parity to the animal target. And we do that in record time. First product that we did was not mayo. It took us 18 months, which is pretty decent for CPG. Like I work more than 18 years in CPG in my past life. And 18 months is actually decent. One of the last products that we did, which is the custard and the shake, the plant-based custard and the plant-based shake that you have today at Shake Shack. So if you go to Shake Shack, it's co-branded NotCo. the plant-based shake and the custard. It took us 3 weeks to do it, right? And there are some products that it took us like 2-3 days to do it. I just didn't put it in here because they haven't launched it yet. And we did a match to Cadbury in 2 months, and there was no specialist in chocolate in the team. In fact, the AI guys are all like crazy CVs. Like the VP of AI came from NASA. The co-founder that is the AI main person is a post-PhD in astrophysics using AI. They probably don't know how to bake a cake, but they developed the AI model, which through the partnership with our chefs and R&D is able to create this stuff. We have loads of partnerships. We have Starbucks in Latin America, Dunkin' in Latin America, Shake Shack in the US. We have 9 different Burger Kings across Latin America. So we are growing through selling our products in retail. You can find in Whole Foods, Sprouts. It's growing the distribution. You can. We also have the pillar of B2B, which is partnerships, and we have partnerships to co-develop and co-brand products, just like what we are doing with Kraft Heinz. And that's why I was talking about Diana. So we are launching every single one of the main products from Kraft Heinz, co-branded, NotCo, on the front of pack. We developed the advertising together. It's a joint venture that we have with them. Highly incremental, so it's a great retail story. It brings new consumers to consume the products. It's a higher price point, so it also grows the value of the shelf. I think if you work on CPG, you know that those are very compelling arguments to help you list the stuff. Kraft Heinz was listed as #2 most innovative company on Fast Company this year. And you can read the article. It's all about the partnership that we have together, developing this type of product. So it's also creating a really nice halo for a company that's very traditional, right? I mean, if you think about the products that they have, it's like really like staple items in the households in the US. Because like I'm the last one, I thought, why don't I show them one campaign that we haven't launched yet? So don't film this, please. But this is the campaign for Not Mayo. We already launched Not Mayo. The brief was as simple as it tastes just like mayo, because we are trying to overcome a taste barrier, which is the main barrier for this type of product. It's a minute and a half film. I will play it all, and I think it will become very clear to you that the joint venture Kraft Heinz and NotCo is aiming to do things differently, right? Because the type of advertising that we're doing together is very different than we do, because we don't have the scale that they have, and that they do because they are not batshit crazy like we are. Can you play that one? Thank you.
I'm on my way to a focus group for people that hate mayonnaise.
I said I hated mayonnaise, so why would they give me mayonnaise?
I don't like anything with mayonnaise.
They said it tastes so bad.
Here we
Once
go.
it's in like a sandwich or something or in a salad, you automatically taste. Anyways.
Yeah, a little
All right, welcome to the taste test. How are you feeling?
My mission in life is to avoid mayonnaise.
You came in and said we won't be eating mayo, and I don't believe that for a second.
A cheeseburger.
Is that mayo?
I promise you on my eldest son's life, that is not mayo.
I'm not trying to be a but I'm staring at it and it's, you know, it's clearly mayonnaise.
1, 2, and 3.
This is mayonnaise.
It's not mayo.
It's definitely mayo.
Tastes like bad memories.
Kind of makes me feel sick.
How do you like cheeseburger? Give it a lick. How's it taste?
I'm tripping out.
It's mayo. How is it not mayo?
That's not mayo. I promise you this is really not mayo.
That looks like mayonnaise.
You don't look well. You okay?
I'm not doing this no more.
This is sadistic.
It is
This is a
sadistic.
sadistic production.
That's not mayo.
Okay.
What's it taste like?
Mayonnaise.
It's lousy. It's
I'm good, thank you.
That is very gross.
okay.
Plant-based mayo.
Not mayo.
Why do I care if it's the exact same thing?
It's mayonnaise. This is mayonnaise. This is mayonnaise.
So it was a really
This
fun
is
one.
mayonnaise.
Thank you. We get it. It was a really fun one to develop, and there is more coming. We already launched Not Cheese. We are working on mac and cheese, and all the campaigns will, we hope, hit that same like chord of this one. Just keeping that. Yeah, and I named the presentation "Think of a Color That Doesn't Exist" because I think that what we are doing so far with AI and NotCo is like scratching the surface. Like matching to an animal target is actually pretty damn easy to do. And the more we work, the more we see that the AI can go way beyond that. We can brief Giuseppe to come up with like flavors that don't exist. We did the experiment. We did the whole analysis on chocolate as we were doing the Cadbury work. And we fed to Giuseppe and said, hey, humans like this, create a taste that doesn't exist based on the fact, like your Spotify playlist, we can ask Giuseppe to do things that have a better nutritional profile, or have a lower cost, or have a different sensorial profile. And that, I think, is when it gets interesting. It's when you are selling a product that tastes amazing, that tastes different than anything you tried before, and it happens that's plant-based. You know what I mean? That's how I think we are going to convert more people, not just trying to sell to people saying, oh, just because it's plant-based, you should have it. This is an example of a real problem that we try to solve to one of our partners. Starbucks came to us saying, hey, I have a problem with my plant-based milk. It doesn't foam that well, like in hot and in cold. I don't know if you guys drink plant-based milk, but it's even hard to do latte art with plant-based. And they said it's a problem because we're selling a lot on drive-through and delivery, and when people get the cup, it's empty, right? Because the foam comes down. Basically, you are buying air, right? And they have to put more milk, which brings the margin down. So, and this is basically like the latte art of Oatly, which is a great product, by the way, and a 2% cow's milk. And then we developed like Barista, which we just launched, which has all these claims, right? And delivers against the need that they had, which actually goes beyond like what an animal product can do. This is something really cool too. It's in Portuguese, so I'll explain. We have a category, there is a category in Brazil that's very strong, which is protein shakes. We develop a protein shake that has an amazing ratio between protein and carbs. If you have cow's milk in the formulation, it's very hard to make the product with less carbs than protein. And it's kind of funny because most of the products in the marketplace, they have more carbs than protein, and they are called protein shake, right? So what we did was we launched this, and we projected in front of Danone, inviting people to compare the nutritional table, which, by the way, people who drink that stuff do read the nutritional table, right? It is basically like making the point that thanks to our formulation and the way we're developing the product, we can create something that has a completely different ratio of carbs and protein than anything out there. This is something really cool that we are about to launch. We have an awesome lab in San Francisco. It's the AI and R&D lab. And every time I go there, they show me some amazing stuff that they are working at. A lot of that stuff will probably never make to the marketplace, because it's basically like the team pushing the AI in R&D and trying to do things differently. So they presented to me a mole sauce that has no cacao and no animal product, right? I don't think mole sauce will be mainstream in the US anytime soon. Or they presented plant-based chicken chicharron, which, again, I don't think is going to be mainstream in the US anytime soon. They presented a soy sauce without soy, a coffee without coffee. It's like they bombard me with all this stuff, which I think is really cool when they explain to me what they're doing and how that is helping develop the tool, and helps explain like how NotCo operates. So what we are doing is we are creating this concept, which we are calling NotCo Drops, which will be a limited edition of 100, 200 prototypes that we're going to sell. And the intention is really not to make money here, right? We're going to lose money. If you do 200 units of something, the economics of that is like, that just doesn't work. The first one will be the fried chicken skin, which is plant-based. So it's like not chicken chicharron. It's like a tongue twister right there. And we are launching this in November, December of this year. So it will be a whole platform that you can subscribe or that you can buy just one. It's a PR play that helps explain like how things work. We're going to have a video explaining how it was developed, the R&D guys talking, and all that good stuff. And then just to wrap it up, because I know I'm over time. In fact, I was over time even before I started because I'm not on the agenda. the one key thing that if I were to like leave you with like one thing out of this presentation, to me is about like AI. You know, I am Brazilian, that's why I have this accent, and I am hopeless optimistic. And I do see so much more opportunity than danger on AI. You know, and I always believe in AI as a tool to augment humans' potential. It's never a replacement. You know what I mean? Like when Photoshop was created, we created more work for ourselves. You know, like when the email was created, we created more work for ourselves. I'm not saying that we don't need to create the boundaries and the legislation and copyrights issues. Yeah, there are lots of things that we have to figure out, just like we have to figure out lots of things every time a new technology emerges. That's normal, you know, like, and I don't think people are going to necessarily like, agencies are going to lose half of their people, or that clients are going to do everything now for 10% of the cost. I don't think that's how it works. You know, I think it will be actually more work. We'll be able to do more things. We are going to be able to do test things faster, develop prototype faster, and if used the right way, we may even be able to solve some real problems that you have as race, right? I mean, thinking about economics, thinking about healthcare. Like, I think that AI can really come to help us augment our potential as people. And that's how we use it at NotCo. It's not a replacement for anyone. It's a tool for us to do better products. That's all I had for you guys. I know I went really fast, but I imagine that I'm the last one between you guys and a drink at AdWeek. I can take questions. I don't know if you have time for that. So thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And if anyone has a question, I can take it. Thank you. You go. Yes. I think it's a really good question. And for the people who didn't hear the question, like NotCo is actually really strong in Latin America, right? In the US, we're just starting. In Chile is like local pride. Like I check in a hotel in Chile and people ask me like, where do you work? I say NotCo. People are like, holy shit, like you work for Apple. You know what I mean? Like that's the proportional in Chile. In Argentina is also very strong. Brazil is strong. Mexico starting. And in US is still very early days, right? I mean, we've been around for 3 years, and it's a country that takes a bit longer for you to develop a brand. I think, look, I mean, if I could go, I joined NotCo beginning of this year. I think that if I were there from before, I would be pushing for us to make AI more front and center on everything we do and in all the communication we had. I think in the past, there was some reluctancy from marketing, not from Matthias, in terms of like doing that. And I think that when you don't do that, it's very hard for you to differentiate yourself. You know, like I think it's part of the key point of difference of this company, the fact that we use AI to develop the products, and we do that, you get to a better quality, whatever you define what quality is, and you do it in a shorter period of time. That's an amazing value proposition for Kraft Heinz and for Shake Shack and for all those other people. I think that beyond NotCo, plant-based will evolve. I think that we are growing, by the way, like a high growth, but there are companies that are struggling a bit, especially the ones that are very single lane, right? And they're like just on like beef protein or chicken protein or milk replacement. We do it all. Like we do ice cream, like you know the portfolio, right? I mean, Argentina is pretty broad too. But I think that if plant-based I think plant-based is here to stay, but it has to evolve. you know, like, and it has to evolve. Like, it's amazing taste is actually better than or different than what you're used to eat, um, and or gives you a better nutritional profile, and or will give you an emotional benefit, and or cost. But it has to be more than just the environmental angle. Like, don't get me wrong, like I am all up for the environmental angle. I think it's really important. But I think that the people who were to be convinced about that were already convinced, right? And if I have to grow more, it's like, for instance, if you have a Tesla, I don't see Tesla doing advertising about the fact that they are sustainable. You see what I'm saying? Like, they talk, like, they don't do advertising, but people talk about the benefits, right? The autopilot, or that the door opens, whatever, right? The features and benefits. And I think that that's probably the biggest unlock for plant-based. And I think we're really well positioned to pursue that unlock because of the way we develop the products. You know, like, and that's why I think that the future is even more exciting than what we have today, because so far most of the products are just matching. Just it's not really just. There's a lot of technology, but it's matching the animal. We just launched in Chile snack bars. It's a cereal bar that has palatinose, which is a slow release carb. Most of the snack bars, they are already plant-based. So I'm not like launching a replacement of the animal. I'm launching technology. Most of the snack bars, they give you a sugar spike that leads to a sugar crash. It's You can measure. We're doing a clinical study to prove that. And our product doesn't have that because we developed the product to disrupt that market with a real concrete tangible benefit. It happens it's plant-based, but it also happens that most people are plant-based already on that market. So that's how I'm trying to think about things. Sorry, it was a very long answer. I promise I'll keep it short, like if there is one more. Yes. Yeah, like I think so. We one of the if you read the purpose of the company, it is like to disrupt the food, to reinvent the food industry one delicious mouthful at a time. We know that we cannot do that by ourselves, right? Or it would take way too long to try to do that by ourselves. So we work in three kind of pillars. We work us selling products, and today we have a presence in North America, Canada, US, and all Latin America, or most countries in Latin America. We don't have a presence in Europe. We don't have a presence in Asia. So it's like this side of the planet, right? We do have partnerships, which are really important. Like when we launched Not Milk on Starbucks in Mexico, we grew sales of everything. Because like if you never heard about the brand, you go to a Starbucks in Mexico, I think it's a bit more premium than what it is here in the US. So you walk in one of those and you see Not Milk on the menu board, like written there, the logo is there. People automatically make an assessment that the brand is good quality. It's also a sampling mechanism, right? I mean, it's easier for me to sample the product and then I can buy at home. It's the same with Dunkin', Shake Shack. That's why we invest so much on those partnerships. And then there are like partnerships like the one we have with Kraft Heinz, which today is the joint venture is just in the US, but Kraft Heinz has a global footprint. We announced that we have a development partnership with Mars Wrigley. I would say that 1/3 of my time is discussing with partners, and trying to help partners with our technology to do things. It's very hard to build a brand from zero, especially in the US. It's expensive, it's painful to get distribution. It's like the CPG game, I was used to play it with scale, with Unilever, right? With Burger King, it's not CPG, but you get the point. It's like everywhere. Here, it takes longer. So we need to do to push us selling partnerships with QSR restaurants, joint ventures or partnerships and collaborations with other brands to gain scale, right? I mean, that's the game we are trying to play. I hope that helps answer. Yeah. Yeah, but for instance, like the Kraft Heinz thing is a huge unlock because like one thing is for me to go to Walmart and see a NotCo product, like not knowing what NotCo is. The other thing is to go to Walmart and see Kraft Heinz mac and cheese. You know, like I know it's good. And by the way, there is an Intel inside, which is NotCo. This is kind of like how it looks, right? And by the way, they have a muscle for distribution. And by the way, they have scale to produce, which like all their costs, distribution costs, production costs, everything is much lower than when I do it by myself. And I have those two P&Ls, so I can compare, right? So that's how we are trying to, like, I think that the work with Kraft Heinz is a lot about democratizing plant-based, you know, and the work that I have to do when it's not go by itself is to evolve plant-based, so that I'm not like his, restricting myself to that segment, which any hiccup that happens with the economy, that's the other thing, it suffers because most people that eat plant-based, they are flexitarians. They are not vegan. My vegan friends don't eat plant-based beef. They stopped eating beef 20 years ago. They don't like the taste, and it tastes too much like beef, so they don't. Sometimes people think like, oh, you're doing this thing for vegans. Like, it's not for vegans. Like, it happens that there are vegan people that buy, but the vast majority of people, they are people who eat beef, but are trying to mix a little bit more plant-based into their diet, which is flexitarian. If you are that type of person and there is an economic hiccup, you go back to beef because it's cheaper, right? Or to regular milk because it's cheaper. So I need to go beyond that to become less vulnerable to fluctuations in terms of consumption. Yes. Yeah. I think I see it as a flying wheel. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we'll ever be just B2B, just like doing things through others. I don't think we'll ever be just us because like it will take much longer to develop. You know, like I've seen the results of when those three things, when we push right on those three fronts. We sell into retail, partnerships with QSR, fast food, partnership with other brands. You know, like it's you again, especially in the U.S. U.S. is so damn expensive. You know what I mean? Like just to be on TV in the U.S. is like more than my revenue. You know, it's a multiple of my revenue. So I need to find smart ways to gain scale, build awareness, build preference, build meaning around the brand. So we don't discriminate. Like we do this, we do discuss a lot if a brand is the right partner or not. You know, because for instance, like I don't want to do not mayo and then do a lame campaign. You know what I mean? Like I can't afford to do that. You know, like so whoever partners with us needs to understand that we will come throwing rocks on the windows. You know what I mean? Like and because they need to understand that there is the benefit. That's what we bring to the table. We are the challenger brand, right? I mean, we are small, we are eager, we are the pirates, right? So you need to be open to that. Else it just doesn't work. Cool. Guys, thank you so much. Thanks for all the questions. Really appreciate it. Thank you.